Hey, what's up? It's Rashad, your boy Antonio, OG friend of the fam. We are back as the MCU Collective talking about
Yo.
Disney Plus MCU shows. If you missed the on the movie side, go back to that. I
Yeah.
mean, whew, it was a discussion, you know what I'm saying? About we had some differing opinions,
Yeah.
and I know for sure this ain't gonna be the same. Like, I already know because this right here is gonna be hilarious. Of course, follow him at Tony Franchise, us on Hang with the Joneses,
Yo,
at
yo.
Hang with underscore the Jones on IG. Thanks for everybody that's on, especially on TikTok. Y'all coming through
Yeah.
strong. And we're almost at 500 on YouTube. Stop playing and join. Like, I need y'all to stop
Yo.
playing games.
Hop on board,
I be
baby.
out here pumping the socials, man. Like,
Yo, Rashad. Yo, shout out to Rashad
whew.
pumping the socials super hard. My work hours schedules is stupid for me to really pump out socials the way Rashad but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Tony,
know
Tony,
what?
Tony be working, man. He be working
Yo,
for
but on the
real.
real, but I do share and like and all that stuff up there, man. So I'm
Definitely.
down for it.
Definitely. That's the least you can
Yeah.
do, guys, is like and share. All
Yeah.
right, so I'm going to get started today. I think you
I
started
just want to
last.
say
Go
for
ahead.
the thing first, it
My
was
bad.
funny just for y'all. This is behind the scenes full disclosure. So after we did the movie one, we was like, all right, next episode is going to be about the shows. And then
Yeah.
I asked the question. I said, is that going to include the specials? And your boy here was like, yeah, he was going home with it. Yeah, include the specials. And I was like, and remember what I said? I said, I think I'm about to start working on this right now as soon as I get off this cut. And then I did. And I was looking like I couldn't get through it. And the next thing you know, the next day, I get a text message from Rashad. Hey man, let's not
Yeah, I
include
can't.
the
I said,
specials.
yeah, man. Let's
Yeah.
get to the series, y'all. I can't do the specials.
You was like, I was even foolish to even try to make. He said, "This is really hard." I was foolish to try to make this because I was struggling. So, and when you said, I was like, thank you, God." So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and just for that alone, I'll start off. So again, it was 8 series. All right.
huh.
I think I'm gonna go through the series we had. Was it WandaVision? Yeah,
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Uh huh.
Loki.
Loki.
We had Falcon Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
What If?
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye, Miss Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
then
Moon.
She-Hulk.
You
Yeah, and
said Moon.
I miss Moon Knight,
Yeah.
then Miss Marvel. Yeah, either way.
But also, I do shout out the specials,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
werewolf.
Honorable
Oh my,
mention, Worth by
honorable
Night,
mention. Wolf by
and
Night and the
the holiday
Guardians of the
special.
are good. And the group stuff, they're cute, but nah, not my cup of tea. But
Yo,
yeah, they were cute, but
I
not my.
watched the like a quick aside. Like I went back and watched the holiday special again.
Uh huh.
It's funnier the second time.
Yo,
Like
it is hilarious. It is definitely hilarious. But yeah, shout out to Werewolf by Night and the Guardian. If y'all haven't seen it, do yourself a
yeah,
favor. They are both excellently done.
Worth by Night is like,
Yeah. Woo,
whew.
woo. Yeah.
All right, let's
All
get
right.
focused. So
So we're going to it.
number eight,
Number 8. What you got, Rashad?
Miss Marvel is my number eight. What's your
Okay.
number eight?
Miss Marvel.
All right, let's talk about how trash the show was. So
First of all, disclaimer. Once again, just because we got these shows rated where they are doesn't mean we didn't like them or whatever.
I
Did
didn't
that.
like
Well, let me put it like this. I'm gonna say you right now. Rashad hated hated Miss Marvel.
yo, man, I play like this.
His daughter hated Miss Marvel as well. Continue. I'm sorry.
Like Miss Marvel for me,
Uh
like
huh.
I really watched this just strictly for continuity.
Uh huh.
There was only one standout episode, and that was episode number 6, I believe,
Which one
when
was that?
she did the whole like go back to the future.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and she
saying?
was the one
Time
that led her
travel.
grandmother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
a really good episode. And episode number 1 hooked me because of
Mm-hmm.
the visual stylings. I knew this
Yeah.
was going to be like a coming of age story.
Mm-hmm.
And disclaimer, I hate coming
Hate
of
coming
age
of age.
stories.
He does.
They are so boring to me. Like, yo, there's a kid, he's like 14, 15, or she or they, and then there's an issue, there's somebody that they like, and then they have to go press. Like, it's just I've seen it so many times. Like, I'm
Yeah.
that genre of storytelling is dead to me.
And super
So
cringe and super cringy.
So this show had very little chance. But the first episode, like how they was doing like visual stylings and stuff,
Uh-huh.
like it was really good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I was liking it. And then they said, hey man, we gotta stretch this budget, so we're not gonna do this no more. This is it for that. And plus we got
Yeah.
some other stuff coming on the end. We gotta really,
Yeah.
yeah. And my biggest complaint with this show is the villains. When I mean these were the most sorriest set of villains I've ever seen. I'm like, yo, the clandestines again. This
Yeah.
show had so much potential to be
Yeah.
so much better, and it just didn't hit the mark for me personally.
Yeah. For me, same thing. Visually, they had some spots that were like, oh, this is great. My biggest concern with this show was going to be how are they going to translate Miss Marvel's powers from the comics into the show?
True.
And it ain't work for me. I'm so like in the I guess I understand why Marvel went this way, but in the comics, Miss Marvel got her powers through, saying Terrigen Mist.
To
That's a whole nother
Genesis,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And everything like that. But her powers are almost equivalent to Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. I guess they didn't want to confuse that and everything, with her having the problems. And I just don't get it. I'm not gonna say I didn't get it. I mean, I'm still kind of like, I'm not understanding where her powers are coming from. Is it because she's predestined because she's part clandestine? Or it's like they really fully didn't understand. They really fully didn't explain all the way exactly why she was able to get these powers, and the story was a little convoluted and it jumbled up. And then yeah, it just didn't do it for me. Like I watched it. I'm one of those suckers that when I watch a show, and let's say the first season is great or the second season is great, and then it starts to get bad after that second season, I'm like, I'm already in it. I just want to see how it ends. I just want to see how it
I'm
ends.
gonna soldier on.
I'm a soldier on for, and that was me for the show called True Blood, by the way. Just go ahead, throw that out there. True Blood started off for the first 3 seasons great. Last season, he was like, what? But anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah, Miss Marvel,
Yeah.
last place. We can
Another
move
little
on.
like small thing I just
Mm-hmm.
want to say too is, oh man, like I didn't have a problem with the power stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but like if they could have spent more time with like Kamala like and her family dynamic, like that stuff was like actually
Yeah.
really good. Like and they spent less time on like I don't know some
Or
of the
else give
like
me more stuff about the clandestines. You like
yeah they
it's
could
like
have
you tickled it and then really never went into it, even with the part where she like went into like, I guess, the clandestine realm. Like that was it. And you never
yeah they
and
didn't
they
go back
never
to
they
it
never
they
went back to
didn't
it. They never
yeah.
explained anything. So yeah,
Yeah, it
eh.
just was. It was more. It left us with more. Oh yeah, the thing that really was really weird how they try. Okay, the fact that she was like the only person on Earth who loved Captain Marvel is like story wise. I understand because they try to translate that from to make that connection from the comics because she was
Yeah.
basically a Miss Marvel fangirl, but like
Uh-huh.
Captain Marvel fangirl, but in the MCU. I, yo, she literally
It's a
came and left. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like she was
I
here
like
for a hot
I don't even know how
15.
long I really don't even know how long she was on Earth
She was
for
on Earth
real.
for a day. You know what I'm
A
saying? Like,
day, and then she like bounced like, I'm gonna go see what's going on around the rest of the galaxy and
yes.
stuff.
Like they call
It's
on her. She's like, yo, what y'all want from me? Yo, other people
right.
need my help. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Remember when she told them? They was like, where you been? She was like, yeah, other worlds don't have you guys. So you know what I'm saying, you guys. So
Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
so that part for me was like, okay, I don't know how they're gonna. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry.
All right.
Number
So
seven.
yeah. Number
Number seven. Go
okay.
ahead. What's your number seven?
Ooh. My number seven. God, I think we might agree, but I'm not sure. Hawkeye.
Me too.
All right. Hawkeye. Um, Hawkeye to me, I think, was a fun little Christmas miniseries. It came out
It
around this time.
was. It did.
It was fun. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even going to front. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun, and it was okay. like I said last episode, with when they made Black Widow a movie, it should have been a mini series or whatever like that. But I liked it for what it was. The funniest part to me is just having to see in that first episode Hawkeye endure going through Rogers the musical, and he's just sitting there like, you gotta be kidding. He don't even have his earpiece on, and his daughter's like talking to him and stuff, and he's like, uh-huh. And she's like, Dad. He's like, huh, oh. Yeah, he gotta turn his earpiece on or whatever. And then, it was okay. It was more ground level centric. So here's my thing. When Netflix did the Marvel ground centric universe with their guys, with Luke Cage and stuff, it was cool. It was like, ground level. It wasn't dealing with space deities and all this stuff and super, super duper powered human beings and anything like that. It was ground level neighborhood type stuff. And this is cool. Not going to lie to old girl that played his apprentice. I can't think of her name.
Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah. Kind of didn't do it for me too much. She was like that annoying. She was your stereotypical annoying girl who came from money, who's just like, I want to do dangerous stuff now because, you know what I'm saying? Because me being rich is a problem. All right, I'll take that problem. Growing up taking that problem. And she wants to do this and that. And I mean, cool. It's all right. It was a fun thing. Cool. Shout out to bringing back Kingpin from the Daredevil, the Daredevil series, or whatever. And
definitely.
I will say, one honorable mention I did appreciate was Echo. She's going to get her series coming up, and Echo was pretty cool as well. But yeah, didn't really do a lot for me, but like it didn't do a lot for me, but it was still fun to watch, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, like I echo that a lot because I had fun watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even some of the cast, like they had it there. This trying to find this one dude's name. He's a comedian. Oh, it's not here. But yeah, it's this black dude. Like, he's a comedian. He was mad funny. The dude that was with the LARPing community. Like all this stuff was like really good. Even
the Russian, the tracksuit mafia,
they
were
funny.
Hilarious as hell too.
Yeah. My only thing is the dude that was running the tracksuit. When I dude was running, the dude was like I guess it was like Echo's like cousin, a little cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they could have did a much better job with him.
Yeah.
It's almost like they didn't really know what to do with him, but they had to include him. Because by the end they just killed him. I'm like, okay, but like he could have had a way bigger role or just been more. They made him almost look like a bumbling idiot at times. I'm like, dog, like he's supposed to be the leader, and like, because I know the whole crew was like a bunch of bumbling idiots, but like still, like they got to make somebody competent.
Yeah. I mean, right. That's what it was. You would expect
Clayton. I'm sorry, Clayton English.
Yes.
Clayton. Shout out Clayton English, man. You're
English,
funny, yo. He used to be on.
Funny.
I think he used to be down with like All Dev Digital and all of them. Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah,
funny comedian.
He's funny. Okay.
All right, what we got? Oh, yeah, that's really 7. It. That's all I got to say about that.
So now we're coming up to number 6. Your turn, Rashad.
She-Hulk.
Interesting. Our first disagreement.
What you got for 6?
And once again, up in this area right here, I'm gonna say from I'm just gonna put this here. From 6 and 5 to me could be interchangeable. I'll put it like that. But I have at 6 Moon Knight.
Okay, so let me explain She-Hulk. So She-Hulk for me, like as a collection of things in regards to all these series, I like She-Hulk a lot. It was funny. It was really lighthearted. A lot of like little random small things they like put it in there as they got a lot of Easter egg heavy show, to be honest. And I appreciate all that. But just in the grand scheme of all these shows, I said I can't put this on higher than 6. Like, and I didn't. It's not like I disliked the show. Like I like watching She-Hulk. I even like watching She-Hulk because all the goofy incels hated it so much. So that made me like it.
They did.
That made me like it even more. You know what I'm saying?
Did.
So
men who hate women really did not like
weird people, man. It's a weird subset of society.
It is so funny because the show, it basically touched on that.
Yeah. There was a whole like first like like A block type situation at the
Yeah,
beginning at the top of the show talking about that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? All right, so
So you got
I liked
She-Hulk.
it. I even like the whole Bruce connection, how he's on Earth,
Uh-huh.
how they Scar's not gonna be around, and
Uh-huh.
she smashed Daredevil, all that. Like I liked it, but it's
Yeah.
just not as strong as a show as the other ones for me.
Okay.
All right,
I
so
put I put
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight here at 6. And once again, I loved Moonlight and Moon Knight. I really did like it. I thought it was good, a good, a good series. However, there were some episodes that kind of dragged a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
They
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
dragged.
yeah. I can see
Some of
that.
those episodes near the end when they was like in the Duat and stuff, I was like, oh, let's just. I was like, yo, King, let's get this
Get
going,
to the point. Yeah,
get
yeah,
this
yeah,
going,
yeah,
get this to
yeah.
the point, and everything like that. I'm also. And then too, I guess my next thing would be I'm trying to figure out where is this going to fit in the grand scheme of things of how that story is.
That's a good question. Like
How that
that's
how
a
that's
that's a good
like
question.
how is Moon Knight going to fit into the grand scheme of things? Like I know Moon Knight, Lord. Moon Knight was a part of like kind of like the occult version of Marvel. So I could see it coming in with Blade and Black Knight. And I guess if Werewolf by Night happens to come back to the MCU type
Yeah.
thing, but I'm still wondering, like, it didn't really point me in a direction of where it's supposed to fit into the grand scheme of things.
Another thing that it did do is talk about how there are like multiple afterlives.
Yes, yeah, right.
And I love how they did it. It's like basically your afterlife
What
is
you believe
tied
in.
to what you believe in. So
Mm-hmm.
that right there, I think that's like one of the ways that is
Yeah,
ties to the greater
right.
world.
I would
Shout
like to
out
say,
Valhalla.
yeah, and shout out to Oscar Isaac. Man,
Accent. He was
acted his
axing his behind off, yo.
off. Oh my god. Like when he was switching back and forth and everything. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was great,
Yeah,
great
he was
episode,
acting, boy.
great acting and everything. It's just for me, there were some episodes I was just like
Nah, I feel you. I feel you.
you can
I
get
feel you.
this. This could have, in my opinion, I think it was a great series. Don't get trust. I think it could have been maybe maybe 3 episodes shorter.
Yeah, and I think they got in like right at like mid pandemic. So a lot of these
Yeah.
shows were affected by that as well.
Yeah. Also, solid villain in Ethan Hawke as well.
Yes.
Very solid
Good, good.
David Koresh type villain or whatever. I appreciate that. So yeah.
Yeah.
So you had She-Hulk at 6. I had Moon Knight at 6.
What's your
All right.
five?
My 5. She-Hulk. She-Hulk.
All right. So we are talking about She-Hulk. So my five is WandaVision.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
And I had to think about this too.
Ooh.
And for me, it's really based
Yeah.
on a couple of things.
Okay.
And the main thing is the first three episodes. Like, I hate old TV. Like, I get what they were doing. I
Uh-huh.
love the practicality of it. I even saw a little bit of
Uh-huh.
behind the scenes. I respect it. I
Mm-hmm.
love how they did it. They was very true to it as
Okay.
well.
I'm
Hate it.
surprised you have WandaVision that low. I'll go ahead and say that. I'm surprised.
I hate it. Like
I'm
the first two
surprised.
episodes was trash to me. Then it got to the point because that's the only reason why I was there because I knew it was going to get to the point. So
Okay.
by midway through that third episode, even the first
Uh-huh.
episode when I saw people glitching out and stuff, I was like, okay, I see what y'all are doing, Marvel. Thank you for keeping me
Mm-hmm.
because this isn't my cup of tea. I didn't grow
Mm-hmm.
up pining. I don't pine for the days where I'll be watching Nickelodeon at 7:30, watching Danger Mouse, and then all of a
Nick at
sudden
Night,
Nick
come
at
on.
Night comes on. That's not I hated it, yo.
I ain't gonna lie, I hated that trash too,
I
man.
hated it.
You
Like
watching
I
Danger
don't
Mouse and Count Duckula, and the
yes.
next thing you know, you like,
Yes.
okay, it's time to go to bed.
I
You
do not like
know.
that's not like nah, I'm good. But okay, so other than that, right? I
Uh-huh.
love the story. I love how they set up Wanda. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I love the story, how they explore Wanda's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that last episode was weak. I'm sorry.
Which
Like
one? Do I say what? Do something
the
finale?
finale was pretty weak in retrospects. They had a
Yeah.
fight in the sky. She tricked him. She tricked Agatha. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She basically enslaves a whole town. Then she
Yeah.
just walks away. with no repercussion. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Just to let her go to what it looks like Mount Wundagore with the dark hole and be able to, get stronger. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, Wanda ain't learned nothing.
Yeah.
And like,
And then too, one thing that was changed in the series was that episode when the commercial was like a doctor, saying with the anxiety or
yeah,
whatever.
Strange was,
That
yeah,
was
that joint.
supposed to be
Yeah.
Doctor Strange or
And that's
whatever.
another thing too,
Yeah.
okay, just in the zeitgeist, that show made such an impact for like two main reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One, the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then two, it was the first MCU show.
Right.
So there was nothing to do, and everybody had eyes on it because there was
Okay.
just a dearth of entertainment. Because I was in it, I was watching it too. What
Mm-hmm.
else was we doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. It was nothing to do.
Nothing.
So everyone was watching it. Everybody's on social media talking about it. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we got all these white girls standing on Wanda Maximoff right now on
Yeah.
Twitter and
Yeah.
TikTok. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They love this villain of a character. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Love
Okay.
Wanda. So
Okay.
that's was really my main gripes.
So mine was She-Hulk, and She-Hulk was once again a fun show, good show, fun show. Um, I just liked, and then I'm a sucker for fourth wall breakage, especially if it's done right. And man, it
There's
was
a
done
lot of
right.
it.
It
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of
It
it.
was. They did a good
And that
job of that.
last episode, I'm not gonna lie, I know half of y'all. I'm not the only one. Half of y'all were looking when the Disney Plus menu came up, like the
What is
hell.
going on,
I was
yo?
like, yo, did my dad go TV just go back to Disney to the menu? I was looking like what? And then when she popped out, I said, oh, they got me. Like, I was cool with that. And then you find out that the joke that Kevin Feige is basically like a AI
It's
robot.
a
And I
robot.
loved it that the robot had like a hat that was almost like how Kevin Feige wears it and stuff like that. And the show didn't take itself serious.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I really did like about it. Show really didn't have any like a villain for sure. Titania was hilarious. Titania was
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I
She
mean,
wasn't
it
even
was
like a
based. It was like
it,
Kim Kardashian with superpowers type thing. It was just funny as hell. But it was Titania was Kim Kardashian with superpowers with super
it
strength
was.
and stuff. So that was
It
like
really
being
was,
an
yeah.
influencer, and everyone like, oh my god, we love Titania. Boo, She-Hulk. She bought She-Hulk's name. That was hilarious to me, or whatever. So yeah, yeah, She-Hulk is my six. I liked it.
We
What
on
it was.
five. We on five.
My fault. Five. My fifth. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. That's
All
cool.
right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Top four. It's my turn now, right?
Yeah, it is. What you got for four?
Ooh. WandaVision.
My four is Moon Knight. And I want to
Now
explain
you
why.
see what I mean by saying
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
oh yeah,
Those
yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
interchangeable for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for me, like
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight was the thing. You know what gets Moon Knight so hot for me?
Okay.
The twist at the end of episode four.
What's that?
When when they're in the pyramid
Uh
and
huh.
then he drops down and
Mm-hmm.
it transitions to like him being in like a forest and the screen ratio changes to like the old TV show and your man is actually in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
Yeah.
they got me.
Yeah.
Like that part right there, that solidified. I said, yeah, this is good. And then the next episode when he's exploring his childhood and we
Yeah.
get like our first like crappy mom in the MCU.
Oh,
Like, yo,
that itch was trash. Trash beyond blaming that boy. Don't get me started on that. Yo, she was
yo,
so trash. Yeah.
like that episode for me, I was like, damn, like he was going through it as a
And that's
kid,
funny because we've
man.
always seen crappy dads, but we've never seen a crappy mom. And she
Yeah.
she sold that. Okay.
Yeah, they did. They yeah, like I love that. I love how how your boy was like really just had the cult thing popping off, like for real.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
Ethan Hawke
saying?
did his
And
thing
even
with that.
how like, when everybody like weighed the scales and he should have killed that old lady.
Yeah.
It was like, damn.
I was like,
He
what
said,
the hell?
you won't be in the new world with us.
Yeah. Like, if this ain't the most cultish track, like, yo. All right. So you got that. I
Yeah.
put down WandaVision. I understand why people did. Really, the first three episodes of WandaVision were kind of hard to watch. I knew that was a lot of people that was watching this series is like, y'all got me watching this. No, Marvel, you got to do better because the black and white trope, the black and white thing going through the different decades of that was cool. But I just loved how, like I said, probably too because it was the first of the MCU shows. But man, WandaVision, in my opinion, it just hit a lot of points. It was good to see Darcy come back from Thor, and they're just trying to figure out this whole thing. And the thing is, you wonder watching this the whole time, like, does Wanda really know what's going on? And they're gonna find out she knows exactly what she's doing. When they sent the drones in, remember that episode? I think it was the episode 4 or 5, and she
Sure.
came out and she came out from, you know what I'm saying? It was like through the drones that have been said, y'all come in here again, it's gonna be a problem. Basically, and they were like, oh, you know, oh,
She does know.
yeah, she does know. So, dealing with that, and then people trying to figure out, is Agatha was the villain, but was there somebody bigger involved? Everyone's trying to put Mephisto, but it didn't happen. So I liked it for what it was. Like I said, those three right there for me, Moon Knight, Wanda, and She-Hulk could be interchangeable. All right.
Definitely. So yeah, and I felt the same way too. And also,
Mhm.
Monica Rambeau, like her introduction was really good too.
Yeah,
Don't want
I
to.
love that showing her coming back from the snap. You
That was
saw,
that was
yeah,
crazy. He did the same thing in Hawkeye too with
yeah,
Yelena. You know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
love how they did that. But yeah, don't want to besmirch
yeah.
Monica
Monica
Rambeau.
Rambeau. Yes. All
Tiana,
right,
so
Rashad.
Tiana Ferris is her real name?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember seeing her first thing I saw her in was Dear White People, the movie. So yeah. So we're in our top three, Rashad. Who you got? Number three.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We
For
about to
me as
be.
well.
I already know we about to have the same top three.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
Falcon.
let's talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
Mm-hmm.
with this one for me, and up like this, this would have been number one for me
Mm-hmm.
if it wasn't for again COVID. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Literally, COVID messed the show up
Mm-hmm.
because they very much had some sort of like the stand super flu type situation going on with the people that was in the in like those like containment camps. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like that was going to be the show. You
Mm-hmm.
feel me? But then
Mm-hmm.
COVID came and it was like,
COVID happened. They said,
that's maybe a little too close to real life.
yeah,
So that whole Mama Donda storyline, they had to cut all that
all
out.
that out. Yeah. But besides that, man, just the good things from the show. Culturally and socially, the most important show that MCU has done.
By far.
By far, bringing in the Dora Milaje to get Captain Maga. Oh my God, that was Chef's kiss. Let that dude realize that he wrong ish and all that, and then of course seeing Isaiah Bradley, who was another version of Captain America, and him explaining everything he went through, and they forgot about him. The only reason he became free from all that testing is because a nurse took pity on him or whatever.
Yes.
And you also saw the signs of the start. I think that was a series that starts possibly the Young Avengers coming up with his nephew being, I think,
His
Patriot or
grandson.
grandson, right, being
Yeah.
coming Patriot or whatever. But I liked this series for what it was. It was great. How the dynamic between Bucky and Falcon, love that dynamic
That
and
was
everything.
like that was
That was
like
yeah.
that was so good. And even Bucky going to therapy and trying to like right his wrongs the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
We seeing how the black folks helped him get out of
Io sitting
the
there,
Winter Soldier spell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like that. It was solid. Like it was
solid.
so solid.
All right.
Yeah.
So ready to go to number two?
Say the same time.
What
What
if?
if?
No, no, baby. Me and my boy Rashad, we got it, baby. Yo, I'm gonna tell anybody right now. If you're like, I ain't trying to see this because it's a cartoon, what if is amazing. And it ties so much stuff together. And I can't wait for season 2 that's coming out later on in
Can't wait.
2023. And I mean, good God Almighty, what if was just woo? They had listen, the episode that kind of solidified me that this is amazing was the episode when it ended with Doctor Strange was just the Doctor Strange episode. How it ended, and Marvel was like, "No, you ain't getting no happy ending in this right here, Jack." My man was in his universe that was destroyed, and he's just in that little
his own self-contained
his
bubble.
own self-contained bubble, man.
I sat there like,
yeah. And remember, I text you and was like, "Yo, did you watch this?" You was like, "I said that's it," and you was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, then."
yo.
Also, too, what shouts us out is one episode is getting a spinoff, Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, the zombies, yo, which was a dope episode.
Dope episode, man. Dope episode. So what if was amazing. Rashad, what you got to say about it?
I just echo everything, man. Like, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. Like,
what if?
What if that episode 2? Also love the daggone Killmonger episode.
Yes, the Killmonger episode. Yes, man, y'all really. If you act like you don't want to see it because it's a cartoon, you are missing out on what if, man.
Then we got and then we had Ultron with the Infinity songs. Like, yo, like it just was. Yeah. It was so good. It's so much.
Yeah.
So much good came out of What If, and like people was not. I don't think. Shoot, yeah, and it had like almost all the actual actors come back. We had the episode that had Nick Fury and Ant-Man was like the original Ant-Man was killing everybody. Like,
yeah,
the joint with Black Widow, and Hawkeye was like last of people on the universe.
Yeah, God Almighty. Great episode.
So good.
And then you see Natasha comes back into a way that she could come back into MCU because she came back like great series.
Yeah, What If was crazy. Which leads us to
nuts. So we coming
number one.
Number one.
And of course it's
Loki. Loki dog, baby. He's Loki. Yeah.
Yo, like Loki season 1 for me, I think was the best. Of course, number 1 is the best all-around show. Mm-hmm. It had great writing, great action, great intrigue. You know what I'm saying? It nailed the landing with the finale. Just
triple lending with the daggone finale. Oh my, bro! Like I can say about this series, there was not one episode that I was like, or one episode I was like, yeah, it was kind of slow. Every episode to me hit its point and made it happen. And like the last 3 episodes were like God Almighty, were chef's kiss. And just dealing with the dichotomy of Loki as a person. And how arrogant do you have to be to fall in love with yourself? My man fell in love with an alternate version of himself. So he basically fell in love with a female version of himself. Loved it. Also, the Easter eggs that were in this, that was in this, especially for me when they went when he got purged and he was there and he was with the other Lokis.
Yeah.
And everything. And then
that was funny.
You saw Frog Thor and you saw them just arguing with each other. You saw the other Lokis just arguing with each other and just doing dumb stuff just for and the only Loki that really had like out of the other Lokis that had some common sense was old school Loki who had
classic
like
Loki, only one who was actually making sense
and stuff. And and he told the story. And he told the story about how he survived Thanos, and it made people think and try to go back to watch the Avengers and be like, could you see Loki? Did he turn himself into like a floating piece of debris or something like that? When the whole Thanos attacked the ship that the Asgardians and stuff was on. But man, it was just such a great episode. Then of course the payoff at the end when you found that when Jonathan Majors came up as the variant of Kang known as He Who Remains. Oh my God. And it was just good God almighty. And I mean, he did such a hell of a job acting that role out. Man, I don't even know what else to say, man. The series was just amazing.
And ironically, it's the most important to the MCU out of all
Yes.
of them,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I was not expecting going into it. But I
Yeah.
should have known because, like, I mean, like, it was all there. Michael
Yeah.
Waldron's writing this. Then we're
Yeah.
gonna have a multiverse of madness, and now come to find out, Michael Waldron is writing that one. Wrote that one as well. So it's
Right.
like, I we should have known this was going to be the most important. I
Yeah.
mean, it just they just did a really good job. There was some I know like a little bit of like for me between like I say like 3 and 4, a little bit of pacing, but like other than
Yeah.
that, like these episodes was definitely doing what they were supposed to have
Yeah.
been done. I mean, timing, comedy was great. Like, and you know what it would have really felt like? It really felt like Tom Hiddleston really wanted to do this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because he didn't have to.
You
So
can tell when there's characters and stuff that people want to do, kind of like with Ryan Reynolds. He wanted to do Deadpool. You can tell Hiddleston wanted to do this series. Also, too, shout out to me to, in my opinion, the real villain of the show, Miss Minutes. I don't know how many times that heifer scared the hell out of me on this day ago. So just popping up, hey darling. I was like, God dang, she just, like just popping up out of nowhere, scaring the living hell out of me because oh my yeah, what you doing here, darling? And what oh man, Miss Minutes was like to me the real villain of this, said of this series. I mean, God Almighty. Also, shout out to God, what's her real name? Gugu Mathra. I can't think of her
yeah,
name. The young lady. Yeah, I can't think of.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
something like
yeah.
his name,
Google
but
Mbatha Raw.
Bathra. Yeah, she her like just knowing everything. Like this series is like when you felt like, all right, we about to get some answers, and then next thing you know, they throw a curveball and like, oh, you just it's like when you think you have the answers, they change the question. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
did. You thought
yeah.
you had
Like
the answers. They changed the question. Like when he went and he met with the timekeepers, he was like, finally. And they come to find out the timekeepers are some robots. And you're like, wait, what? What's
yo,
no
they
man?
like when I mean it was really on some Rick and Morty stuff. Like
Yeah.
you can tell like they mine it was mining they are mining the Rick and Morty writer staff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying for the
Yeah.
multiverse saga. So like yeah, that and even just how like Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston like played off each other like
Yeah.
and him and his realization that like yo like this is some trash
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just for them to go back and reset the whole thing at the end
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even know he doesn't even recognize him anymore.
Yeah, he
You
was
know what I'm
like,
saying?
because he's like, oh, you new here or something like that. And then he's like, yeah, he was like, hold on, we'll find out what's going on. We got to meet with the big guy. And next thing you know, you see Kang is like in charge of you like shout out to
Yo,
Tennessee State, by the way.
theme music was great too.
Yeah, Theme Visit was awesome.
So they just did a really
Yeah.
they did a really good job with that, man. For
And
that,
it also what I liked too, Rashad, was it lets you know that a lot of things you thought were important, still important, but meaningless in the whole thing. Like when they had a whole drawer full of Infinity Stone, he was like, "What are the Infinity Stones?" He was like, he opened a drawer, pick one. I was like, "What?
what you mean? These? I got a whole
These?
drawer of these.
You got a whole drawer? We got a whole drawer of these or whatever." You're like, what and then like I said, you going back to even going back to when what I'm saying when you saw somebody get pruned, you like, yo, they straight up killed this dude from time just for, whatever happened. And you're like, yo, whatever happens, then you find out what happened when somebody gets pruned, and you're like, yo, what? You
You
see
just
him go
get
to
sent to the end of time.
the end of, yeah, you get sent to the end of time and everything, man. And I think too, one of the best moments is just like he's just sitting there like when when he Who Remains sitting there talking like, yeah, this is yeah, okay, yeah, you're about to say this, and yeah, this is gonna go to. He says, you have no idea what it's like to know everything that's going to happen when it happens. Like you're about to drop it, like he just going and like just saying how nuts is driving him, and it has to be here. And then he explained how I met somebody that looked like me. Saying I broke. I was like, oh hey, it's you. Hey, nice nose.
That's
And that
another.
was a joke that he did.
And
He
that's
did
another
with
thing
himself.
too. Like this show probably has the most exposition
Mm-hmm.
of any of the shows. And it laid out a lot of the, I mean, again, the most important show. It laid out a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the groundwork for what the
Yeah.
multiverse saga is going to be. And they did it in a
Yeah.
TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people are like, oh, I don't watch TV. Like, yo, you gotta watch this. You
Yeah.
gotta watch this stuff. It's like it's essential watching
Yeah.
now.
And what my man say, he was like, this is it. And it was like, what? What's what? He was like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. And that's when they broke the multiverse, I was like, yo. And then when Sylvie killed them, and he was like, no, he was telling him like, you killed me. I'm telling you, there's other versions of me you don't want them problems with or whatever. They're like, yeah, whatever. She kills him, and then he just looked at him like, see you soon. And then just that, and you just like, yo, like, yeah, man. I mean, Loki touched on so many points. And then you got to realize too, this was Loki also not knowing the relationship that became him and Thor.
Yeah, this was 2012 Loki.
Yeah, this is him not knowing the relationship that they had, because Loki was always jealous of Thor, tolerated Thor. He knew he thought it's like he silently cared about him, but he tolerated him because he felt he should have been the king of Asgard. And it's just crazy when they had the thing, they sat down. It was like, yeah, this is what happens to you. He was like, yeah, he basically told like, you're not prime Loki. This is the prime Loki right here. This is what happens. It shows him like, yeah, you and your brother become best buds and this and that, and you die for your brother. And like you see Loki like, oh.
What was even crazy was just like how it doesn't matter what Loki it is.
Mm-hmm.
Loki is going to be the same Loki every
Mm-hmm.
time.
Right.
And,
Right.
and even how they snatched Sylvie when she was like 7 years old.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Like that was like, just because whatever happened with
Just
she
because she knows she's going to do something crazy that's going to break
yeah,
their whole their universe
yeah.
years in the future. You know what I'm saying? And then her holding that grudge, and then her figuring out
Mm-hmm.
how to get out, and
Mm-hmm.
then how to actually just setting off bombs everywhere. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like her character, like Sylvie was really that's a dope
Yeah.
character they made.
Dope, really dope character. And I cannot wait for, once again, just like What If, I cannot wait for season 2 of
Cannot
Loki.
wait.
I can't wait for season 2, and I also can't wait to see once again what's going to happen with this going into the grand scheme of things, because this introduced us into, well, you could say Endgame introduced us to the multiverse, but this right
Nah,
here,
this introduces to the most not because
yeah,
no because
Endgame,
Endgame was more like time travel.
time travel. Okay,
You know what I'm
cool.
saying? This
So
introduces
this
to the
is us to the
multiverse
multiverse,
legit.
the legit multiverse, and seeing different versions of people, and then what if took it to the next level. You know what I say? What this is? What Comparing these two? That's why I have them as 1 and 2. This is almost like Loki is Jordan, and What If is Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah,
Because
like same position, same saying same position, same build and everything. Did yeah,
same pump fake fade away.
yeah, everything.
You know what I'm
It's just
saying?
that Loki is the OG, and it's like Loki would be the OG, which is MJ, and What If is Kobe, which is the remix.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment
Thank
100%.
you. I appreciate that.
That's a good analogy.
Rest in peace,
Thanks.
Mamba.
Yeah, yo, RIP.
Yeah.
So
So,
I like even just thinking about it now, like 'cause
uh-huh.
I haven't given this much thought, but like Loki was that show.
Yeah.
And it exposed us to so much, even like with like the time variant cops and all of
Yeah.
them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? With
TVA. Yeah.
Renslayer and yeah, TVA
Uh-huh.
and B so Hunter B14, I think is her name was, the other
Yeah,
black
100
lady.
before. Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, like
When she realized this was some BS too, and yeah,
yes, man.
yeah.
It was
'Cause remember, she went back and found out that Renslayer was like a teacher,
yeah, it's like a principal.
a principal or
And
something.
like Ohio.
Ohio, right, in Ohio, and basically, like, she got after the snap, they brought her in because it just messed her up and whatever. And she knows everything that's like going on. And the thing is, they have little hints and stuff about like what's going on, but yeah,
It just good. Even like how they they even they had a gag where Loki was revisiting this memory in his mind with Lady Sif, and Lady Sif kicks him in the nuts over and over
yeah.
and
Oh,
over and over again. Like
like they said we will lock you in this position, and they locked him. He was like, okay, please, let's stop this or whatever. So yeah, I mean,
it was so
yeah,
good, man.
because
Like
that also showed how Sif lost her arm, right? Because remember, we always was wondering what happened to Sif because was that in Ragnarok? I'm tripping.
no,
That was in
no,
Ragnarok,
that was in Love
not
and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. Pardon me.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
it's
Excuse
all
me.
good.
Whoops.
A lot of
And
stuff going.
whatnot.
A
But yeah,
lot of
but
stuff just yeah.
it was a lot of stuff just going on. But Loki, top notch, number one. So just a quick review of my list.
All right.
At number 8, I had Miss Marvel. At number 7, I had Hawkeye. At number 6, I had Moon Knight. 5, She-Hulk. 4, WandaVision. 3, Falcon and Winter Soldier. 2, What If. And number 1, Loki.
All right. Miss Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye, She
Mm-hmm.
Hulk, WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
Moon Knight, Falcon
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier, What If, and Loki for 8-1.
So we were 5 out of 3. I mean,
Yeah,
well, 5 out of 8 altogether that we got.
yeah. 4, 5, and 6 was the
4,
toss
5, and
up.
6, you can say it's a toss up, but the thing is, put it like this: it was different orders, but it was the same move. It was the same shows in that little
Yeah,
four,
definitely.
four, five,
And
and six for us.
that little
Yeah,
trifecta, you know what I'm saying? Definitely the
yeah,
same shows. That's funny. But yeah, yo, like we have fun with this. Phase
yeah.
4 was a overall was a very like matter of fact, let's end this right here. All right, so done with this. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Next week we're gonna talk about just phase 4 overall and how how we felt about it as a cohesive unit. All
Yeah.
right. To the next time.